First, I'd like to thank you all for coming this afternoon. I know you probably have something else you'd rather be doing than sitting in this presentation, but I do hope that you get something out of this because we want to make sure that you have differentiated ways of doing formative assessments with your students. Today I will be featuring the Socrative app. If you have not already downloaded on your iPad, we'll come around to help you make sure you get that downloaded. But I want you to also go on your laptop to Google Socrative, and there is a student and a teacher. You're going to go to the teacher, and when you click on that, it'll take you to Socrative Teacher Login. I know some of you may already have a profile set up. If you do not, then you can use your Google login with Horry County Schools, or you can set up your own. It's up to you. I already have one set up. And the two things that I'm going to feature is how to create a quiz, because a lot of times you can use these quizzes for warm-ups, whether it's math, science, ELA, social studies. It can be used in any discipline across the academics. And what I would like for you to do is log into the Socrative Teacher on your laptop. Does anyone need help getting to this point? From here, you're going to click on Manage Quizzes, because this is where you're going to either create your quiz directly on Socrative, or you can import a quiz. All right? By going to Import Quiz, you can do two things. One, if your coworker creates one on Socrative, then they can give you the code. They can email you the code, and you can just import it, and you both can do the same quiz with your students. Or if you want to create a one on your own using an Excel spreadsheet, then you can download the template. And I like to use the Excel spreadsheet. So if you just click on Download the Template, we're going to do that one first. Where it says Import a Socrative Quiz from Excel's file, you're going to download that template. And you should have something that pops up something like this, and you're going to hit Enable Editing so that you can adjust it. The thing I like about using the Excel spreadsheet is that I can create this without logging onto the internet, because you can save this template on your desktop, click on it, throw in a couple of questions, open up Socrative, import it, and it's there on the spreadsheet. So what I would like for you to do is, I would like for you, whether you want to work in partners or do it individually, I would like for you to think of something, 3 questions, and create a quiz that you and your partner can take, because one is going to be the student, one's going to be the teacher. That's why I had you bring your iPads, because our students can download the Socrative student app, and they were going to put in your classroom code, and from there they'll be able to take the quiz. And the data comes directly to you via email, or you can view it right there on your desktop, or you can save your reports for later and view them at a later time. When you import it, where it says enter the quiz name, when you're looking in your quizzes and you want to launch the quiz for them to take, it'll be by the name. But the code that they put in will always be your classroom number. So to take any quiz that you choose to launch, they'll go to that classroom first. And by being in the classroom, whatever you have launched for them to take or to do will be activated. You're welcome. So for example, I'm going to name this quiz, What is Today? And then on this type of, on the Excel spreadsheet, it's going to give you 2 options. You're going to either choose an open-ended type of quiz or a multiple choice. When you click on the cell, there's a little drop-down arrow. And then you choose whether you want to do open-ended. And of course, it's not going to grade an open-ended question for you, but if you want to just maybe have like 1 or 2 like essay or short answer type questions, say for example your learning outcomes that you have for your lesson plans, you could put those on here. They could type the answer to you versus using a slip of paper. They could go in and answer your learning outcomes right here for you. It'll get emailed to you. You can sit at your laptop and read to see who got what. Go ahead. Well, the cool thing about this, especially with the multiple choice, is that when you tell the spreadsheet what the correct answer is, it automatically tells the students that they got the question incorrect and what the correct answer was for that question. You wouldn't necessarily have to go over it because it does it automatically. As soon as they choose the answer, it tells them whether they got it right or wrong, and it moves on to the next question. No, you can do as many as you want. So if you want to do true, false, then you would just have true, false. So what I'd like for you to do is just maybe put in like 2 or 3 questions, like what is today's date? And then I'm going to put different random answers here. And then of course today is October 21st, so in this first column I'm going to put that A was the correct answer. And that's all you have to do. And that under 5, where it says optional, you can choose the correct answer, choose one of the correct answers. So there's that drop-down menu again, and you pick which is the correct answer, A, B, C, or D. No, you do not have to number the questions. Yes, the letter of the answer. Use the drop-down menu. So if I do another multiple choice, today is Wednesday, and then I can put true, false, while you're making it, yes, you can constantly you can edit. Once you create it, you can go in and edit a quiz at any time. Like say you choose the wrong answer choice, or you've got a misspelled word, or you look back and you say, oh, that kind of could have been either A or C, so I might need to change an option. You can edit once it's published. So I've created 2 questions. So I'm going to save this template, save as, and I'm just going to save it on my computer wherever you want to save your things that you use often. And I'm going to call this Day of the Week Quiz. So if you have different units or different standards, you can save each template to be whatever quiz you want it to be, so that you can edit the template as you go along. Yes. You can put on there that it's a Socrative quiz if you want, you know, when you're titling it. Like I could do days of the week, and then it's saved as an Excel spreadsheet. Yes. So I'm going to save it as days of the week Socrative. And when we go back on the internet, back to this import quiz, I'll choose the file from my desktop. So then I'll go back to where I saved it and click on it, and when I hit open, it's automatically, boom, your quiz was imported. My quiz is in there now. There's no having to pick and push and what kind of questions and typing each answer choice, because you've done all of that on the spreadsheet. So a way to double check to make sure it's there is you'll go back to Manage Quizzes. No, excuse me, go to Dashboard. And then I would hit Start a Quiz, and then you can see it's listed at the top, what is today. I would click on that quiz, and then you have options. Disable students' names, because when they put your room number in, the next question is what is your name? This way you get the student's data for that particular student. Otherwise, there's no way to identify who's taking the quiz. Now, if you want to do just anonymous, you can disable the students' names. I like to have that data to see what they do, so you don't want to disable. If you want to randomize the order of the questions or randomize the answer choices, you can do that as well. And you can also disable the feedback that I was telling you about, whether if they got the answer correct or wrong and getting that feedback immediately, you can disable that. So all I'm going to do is just hit Start. And so now it's going to wait for students to log in. Once your students log in, their names will start to appear and their answer choices will appear. You can see that red means that they got that wrong, green they got it correct. You asked a good question about, can you go over it with them? An option that Socrative gives you when you collect your data, when you click finish, is get reports. You can actually print off student individual PDFs. So you can actually give them back basically a written copy of the test. I usually like to have it just emailed to me. That way I can open the Excel spreadsheet later, look to see how everybody did. Plus, while they're taking it, you're watching the green and the red squares appear, so you automatically can tell which questions they're getting wrong, and you can go back and look at those later. Do you have any questions so far? Once you create your quizzes, you can go to My Quizzes, and all of the quizzes that you ever create are saved in your My Quizzes. We had a question earlier about, well, what if a question looks wrong or I click the wrong answer? From here, you would just click on that particular quiz and you can duplicate it. Say, for example, you want to use some of the same questions and you just want to change some and not have to retype the whole thing. You can delete, download it, or you can edit at this stage. And this is where you would go in and say, edit, and then I would pick what I want to change. When I told you about working with your co-workers and one creates the quiz, there's no sense in both of you going in and trying to create a Socrative quiz. There's no reason for you to share the template for them to have to do it. You can give them this share quiz code. They always start with SOC for Socrative, and then it has numbers behind it. You can just highlight, copy, cut, paste it on an email, send it to your coworker, and then that is where they will go back into import quiz. For example, if I copy this, I can go back into my manage quiz, import, and then I would put that code in there, the SOC code. When I hit import quiz, it's going to successfully import. So for example, the quiz that I've created on hunters and gatherers for benchmark review, I can send Kevin the SOC code number. He can go into his Socrative, import it, and he can have his students do it, and all he has to do is just administer the launching part of it and finishing it. His own data is separate from mine. It's still the same quiz that they're taking, but it's separate data. Another cool feature about Socrative, exit ticket. The exit ticket does not take a lot of effort for us other than launching it. So when you click exit ticket, they're automatically asked 3 questions. How well did you understand today's material? They are going to pick totally got it, pretty well, not very well, not at all. This is just something you launch. They go in 1, 2, 3. Question 2, they're automatically asked, what did you learn in today's class? This is an open response where they're going to have to type something. And then last question is, please answer the teacher's question. So again, if you've got a learning outcome that you want them to answer on the board, they can write the answer to that question there. And again, same thing, you click finish, and from finish, you can download your reports, have them emailed to you, do student PDFs, however you want your data sent to you, you can collect your data from there. And you can print out that PDF and give it to them and say, this is what you did. And one other thing that I find nice about Socrative is that they have a very user-friendly help menu. I've printed out for you how to import a quiz, I believe how to start a quiz, and also how to use the exit ticket. But if you're stuck on something and you're not sure how to do it, you hit settings and go to that help menu, and from your help menu, the user guide, student login, how to create a quiz, start a quiz, how to deliver Space Race. So if you're interested in using Space Race, you can click on deliver a Space Race, and it's going to give you step by step and shows you what your screen's going to look like to be able to walk you through on how to do a Space Race. Yes? Actually, they join as a team. So you set however many teams that you want, and usually you pick the little icon that they have, and then usually the teams are like team colors, like blue, gold, black, silver, magenta, whatever, and then they join a team. So if you have 7 tables, you could say you're going to be the blue team, you're the red, whatever, and then they're going to join in on that team, and then they'll play for that team, kind of thing. I did want to show one more thing about the profile. Is under your settings, you can update your profile. You can change your room name. I changed mine to SS for Social Studies 611 because that's my room number. You can try just your regular room number if you want, but you got to realize this is a worldwide type of program, so I'm sure there's another room 611 somewhere out there in the world. So I had to create mine to be original to me. You can change your passwords here, and they do ask you to represent what school you're with and what role you play as an administrator to using Socrative. Well, that kind of sums up the Socrative aspect of it. If anybody have any questions, I appreciate your time. I hope you guys have learned something. And I'm going to turn it over to Mary, who is going to teach you a little bit about iMovie so that you can differentiate using movies and videos in your classroom. Yay.